shout out to Tamika Ituka.
Who's that?
R.I.P.
Who's that?
She was, until yesterday, the oldest known living person on Earth. Japanese lady. She was born in 1908. 116. Rip.
I don't want to be that old.
104 is my minimum, bro.
No, my minimum.
Minimum.
My maximum is like 34.
Juice!
Okay, welcome back to our stupid Axel Corbin.
I'm Rick.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter for more juicy content.
Juicy!
Thank you to everybody who supports on Patreon. Follow us Twitter accounts. Button.
Gonna get a pet, name it Juicy.
Please don't. Today,
Need underwear. Man, we should have done that a long time ago. We should have underwear that says
I have underwear.
it's so juicy, right on the front,
That would be a copyright infringement.
and says juicy content. Damn it, screw that. I'm doing it.
You will get sued.
By who?
I think it's who's the underwear place that
There's
in the malls?
a lot of
the
underwear
malls, like
places.
the famous one.
Victoria's Secret?
Yeah. Remember how everybody used to have juicy on their butt back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's be totally different.
No. If it says juicy and it's on their butt,
It's not going to be on their butt. It's going to be on their front. It's going to be on their fanny, or it's going to be on their body. You know, that's what it's called in the UK.
literally nobody wants to buy underwear from you that's
You know
juicy
that?
on it, ever.
The vagina is called the fanny.
Yes.
But here in America, the fanny's the butt. How'd that happen? Where'd that flip around come from?
I don't know.
Your brother?
Also, no one here calls the butt the fanny.
Yes. I'm going to hit you on your fanny.
Nope, they say butt.
You've never heard the rear end referred to as a fanny?
That doesn't mean that's what people call it. They
Oh,
call
so
it a butt.
If they refer to it as a fanny, they don't call it a fanny?
Just because that is a name that it can go by doesn't mean that's what people call it.
What are you talking about?
In Britain, the fanny, that's what they call it. Like all the
They
time.
also call it other things as well.
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
Like the cunt? Because they do. And I'm not going to say what they call the end of a cigarette. But they do. They're wild over there. Today we got this is an interview. This is another icons. Kareena Kapoor and Twinkle.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, Akshay's Aquaman. Huh?
And so this is two lovely Bollywood ladies married to two wonderful Bollywood mans.
Yep. Kareena's married to Saif. Twinkle's married to Akshay. You put them together, and what have you got?
A foursome.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know.
We've seen some of these interviews before as well.
No, we haven't.
A lot of things happened to you on the set. You met.
Oh, so quiet.
What's happening?
I don't know, but that looks just like Twinkle.
If the audio was terrible, sorry. 1, 2, 3, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, here we go.
Twinkle and Kareena.
Happened to you on the set. You met Saif on the set. You all were both wearing hideous blonde wigs, so love really is blind.
Sound is not good.
Including your husband was wearing slightly more
But
orange.
nobody fell in love with him on that set, right?
Akshay was wearing a dog on his head.
Yeah.
Chicka boom boom, babo. 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 Chicka pop, and Twinkle.
When I saw good news, I was reeling because you have pulled off being me.
Exactly. Not many people know that, but that it
Half
was you.
those lines I have said in real life. There's my wedding photograph where they've just chopped off my head and put yours.
Yeah.
Karan told me you've dressed like me, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my
yeah.
God, what's happening? How the hell did that happen?
But that's because your husband would come every day to the shoot and say, "नहीं, abhi ye bolte," because Tina told me this, so Tina told me that, Tina told me this, so everything was Tina.
One day I actually told him that line where, you know, women have to do all the work, and what do you guys have to do? What's your contribution to making a child? You just make a face like, oh, and that's it. You just take it there and put it in the movie.
I know. When he told me that, I was in shock because that wasn't there in the script, and I had come prepared for the monologue, and he was like, "नहीं, abhi ye line add kiya," and I was like, I'm prepared for this monologue.
We
I've been
can
learning it for
fade
like
out
3
that
weeks."
background music anytime
And he
now.
was like, no, this line is fab. I think we should say it because Tina has also said it. I was like, okay. Like, what is this context that Tina has been saying this? So what have you guys been discussing or fighting or what's been going on? I was more like thinking of
It
that.
was the
Nice shoes, ladies.
to admit.
Yeah,
I love
I was
Pooh's
like,
look
oh,
here.
Okay.
So you've been me, you've been 100 other things.
Yeah.
I always feel that when you're a kid, you want to be a scientist, you want to be a pilot, you want to be, you know, different things. But actors want to be all of these things, so they choose the easiest path and just act. Did you always
Definitely
want
easiest
to-
path for sure.
I think so. Like, obviously being
Acting
scientist
is by
was
far
not
the
an option.
easiest
I am,
occupation you could
from
ever
the
pursue.
Kapoor family. Clearly, if we were scientists, I have no idea what this
Maybe
word
easiest
would
in terms of the
mean.
effort, like
Oh.
in terms of
You
the
should know
education.
So much easier.
Education.
But I
Yeah.
think being an actress is also, I mean, you've been an artist, you know that. And I think people say, okay,
Oh
it's
goodness!
an easy way out.
Please get the
I
background
think
track
it's
out of it.
extremely tough
I don't
also.
think it's easy at all.
Yeah.
I just could not do it. Girls from the Kapoor clan
Yeah.
were really not allowed into the movies. So how did you convince them? Did you just hide their whiskey and kebabs and said, let me into the movies or I'm not going to let you eat and drink? What did
No,
you
I
do?
think that mom also was, you know, very, very
Girls-
supportive. And obviously
Kapoor
when my
girls
father
weren't
got
allowed?
to know that Lola wanted to be an actress, he was a little upset first. But also a lot of people who know my father know that he's extremely, I think he's very, very open-minded. He's more like a friend rather than, you know, being that father who's like, no, we can't do this in this tradition and that. So we're very
Hallelujah.
lucky in that way that kind of
Wanted to come back
happened.
in.
And Lolo kind of paved the road and I just followed.
I know for you it was a choice, but for me, I didn't want to become an actress. It
Yeah.
was out of necessity. I had a single mom, and she was providing for everyone. And I think even for Lolo, it
Yeah.
was pretty much that. She had to
Yeah.
drop out of college and, you know, get into that.
And at your
because
time, I think they started also very young.
very young. We started very young, and really it was about this is the quickest way of us being able to support our families.
Yeah.
And did you feel that? Did it make an impact on your life at that point?
No, of course, I'd seen her struggle, which was completely a journey so different to mine. I was just very passionate about, you know, being in front of the camera.
Yes, we know.
Yeah.
We've seen you on that.
Exactly. Your husband has seen me. His first shot was in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just something that I've always, you know, I've had stars
Looks
in my
great.
eyes and I wanted to
Oh, yeah,
just
she's
play
beautiful.
different characters. I knew that I could do it. Like I wanted to dance. I wanted to perform in all those songs. So it was not, I never ever thought about the monetary part of it or that, you know, I have to do this or I have to. I was like, you know, I want to do what I want to and let's see how, you know, what happens.
And there was no pressure. You didn't feel, okay, my sister is, you know, really at the top of her game. She's
Yeah.
fabulous. Am I going to be as good as her?
That
Sibling
pressure was-
rivalry, competition.
You had a big
No
sibling
competition.
rivalry.
Massive.
Rivalry as such, but I think the pressure of coming from this family and that girls normally don't become actors and Lolo had, you know, achieved a lot and done so much that there was that, you know, pressure that, okay,
Why do
fine.
I know the name
what
Lolo?
what is she going to do? Is she going to be able to do it? And mom was always like, but my two girls are like my two tigresses, you know, like my two
Because
boys.
Jason
And
Momoa was just
mom's
cast as
always
him
been
in
like that. What's the
Supergirl.
difference between a girl and a boy?
No, there isn't anything.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
she's always been that kind of firecracker. And I think that kind of just, I'm like that too, and it just happened.
And the first day that you went on a set, not as a kid, where apparently you were sitting on people's laps, you were
Yeah.
that little.
Exactly. I'm telling you, like, I am actually, it's so strange. I'm romancing all of Lolo's co-stars. It's so weird because, like,
Yeah.
Akshay's first shot, I was like in my school uniform. It's been such a long time, and
Yeah.
you know, it just shows how
That puts an
amazing he
actor.
is
That
rather
puts her
than-
so ahead of the curve of everybody else.
Maybe not.
Because her
Because
first day on set doing a
women
role,
can just have these
she's
long
been around
careers and
sets her
women-
whole life.
But now we're proving
knows
them
how it all
wrong,
works.
huh?
Yes, you
Now
are
we're
proving
doing
them
that.
wrong because
Yeah.
you have been here for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, how does that feel?
I don't know. I think it's also just
How old is she?
belief and just
Your age?
40s? I don't think she's 50
also
yet.
believe that, you know, if you love your
Let me look.
job, no matter what you do, you enjoy it. It just
And
happens.
this was 2 years ago.
A lot
so
of people
she's
like to
2
say
years
that if you
younger than
do,
me.
if you want to join the industry because there's pressure,
Yeah,
there's
she's
monetary
44.
pressure, you know, that people
So
say
here?
it's a
42 here.
glamour
She's
world
42.
where
She's 44
you
now.
can make money. I think after a point you just fall flat and give up. But if you're passionate about whatever you're trying to do, you enjoy being on a set. I enjoy being in
Like
front of the
being on a
camera.
set.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just I love my job.
Very
So I think
strange
that's why
background choice.
imagine 20 years
I
and still
swear.
at it. Yeah.
It's longer than most marriages.
This is one marriage that I wish to keep
Background is
forever.
in what we're hearing.
That is really,
Yeah.
really amazing.
It's
It's a
strange
terrible,
choice.
terrible distracting choice.
You met Seth
Yeah.
on the set. And strangely enough, I was there watching you,
Yeah.
both sitting next
Voyeurism.
to each other. You all were both wearing hideous blonde wigs, so love really is blind.
Yes, exactly. Including your husband was wearing slightly more
But
orange.
nobody fell in love with him on that set, right? It's like two of yours.
Akshay was wearing a dog on his head.
Yeah.
I was
I
like, yours is orange, mine is at least like cooler and like
And Saif
blonde.
had this hippie blonde thing.
Yeah.
How did it all happen?
Some kind of a karmic connection in a way, because Saif and me were always supposed to do a couple of films together, which we never ended up doing, and I always said no to them, and then we just, never did a film. And finally then, this movie just happened, and yeah, I don't know what it was. Saif and Akshay were talking, and Akshay kind of got the vibe that Saif and me were like connecting, and Akshay took Saif in the corner and he was like, listen, tread carefully, because they're dangerous girls and this is a dangerous family. I know them, so dekh ke rahe.
So that's a good piece of advice, right?
He was like, don't kind of mess with her. Was his vibe to him, that he was trying to say that, you're barking up the wrong tree. And Saif was like, no, I know that, I figure her out.
In fact, when I was getting married, I asked Saif for some advice back in the day, and he did give me some advice, which I'm not going to really disclose right now. It was pretty sensible, and it worked out.
Look
It
at it.
worked out like that, yeah. So I have to say that he is kind of wise.
He is wiser than me.
You're a very different people. What
So
do you
people who
talk
read,
about?
that's why y'all are like people who read, just have this chip on your shoulder.
No, we don't have a chip on our shoulders. We're boring.
So
people,
Akshay and me
see?
are on one side.
Yes, so it's very difficult to communicate. So how do you talk to him? What do you talk to him
No,
about?
I think, it's not just, I think a lot of people don't know Saif in a way. Yeah? He's funny, he's humorous, he's actually, I think, got his head on his shoulders. It's just that people obviously, again, because he comes from a privileged background and, probably he comes from this royal family, so people have this thing that he has this attitude or he has this chip on his shoulder. And in fact, he's the most basic guy, I think, one could ever find. Like, he's quite, chilled out. He wants to eat dal, chawal, mirchi for lunch all the time. He's
Same.
not, fussy about... In fact, I'm the one who's slightly more fussy.
No, he's not fussy. I worked with him. I think I did 2 movies with him.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be 3, because we reshot one entire movie. It's not
Did
even,
it release, but...
It released, but it wasn't even like a reshoot where you say, this is not working and let's reshoot. It was the whole movie with a new script with new names.
Oh, God.
And I remember we were working somewhere and I got very irritated with him. I don't know why. Because we were also slightly competitive. This whole snob, intellectual snob thing.
I've never heard of that ever happening, ever.
An entire
And I
movie?
missed
Reshooting a whole movie.
And my foot started swelling up and he was laughing like an ass.
Yeah, I think y'all were quite childish at that.
I love Twinkle.
I do
The
too.
90s time, I
He had
feel,
no filter,
I'm
and I
sorry
love
to
it.
say, but most of y'all, I feel, from the stories.
We were very young, we were very
Yeah.
badly dressed, and we had no scripts, we had no dialogue. What were we meant to do?
Exactly. I think this time we're a lot more, this generation, a lot more collected and composed, and I don't know, I think that.
You're constantly trying to make yourself into this other generation. I remember we were standing very recently, Rani and I were standing, and you came in this
Yeah, and
picture.
I was like, why am I in
and you're
this
like,
picture?
I'm not in the same generation
But
as
I'm
you
not in
guys.
the 90s, why am I in club? That's what I told Karan. I was like, no, Lola should be in this picture.
No, we'll keep you from the, two generations ahead. So yeah, you'll be
How old's
eternally
Twinkle?
young. So Bebo.
How old is Twinkle
from
Kapadia?
What's your iconic line? "Main apni favorite hu."
Oh, God.
So now there's another favorite. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
I probably said
There's
the
no
wrong
reason
name.
to make him and put him on this pedestal. For
do you
no
cook
reason.
for him?
No, but Saif cooks for him.
So Saif can cook and you can't cook. What does he make?
Well, he does a really good roast chicken, which he loves to eat. So I guess all the food that he loves, he likes
He
to
cooks
cook.
for himself.
And he cooks for Tim, which is like, Tim loves spaghetti.
Oh.
So he makes a really good spaghetti. And yeah.
And what does he make for you?
Like, I mean, I eat everything that he makes. I eat the pasta, I eat everything. But I'm obviously trying to always be healthy and not eat that, especially if I'm shooting. But obviously, if I have like long breaks and I'm not doing anything, then I'm a big foodie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit legendary also.
Yeah, it's a family thing, no?
Yeah. In fact, there's this apocryphal tale where you wanted to introduce a boyfriend to your dad.
Yeah.
And then you said, Daddy, this is my new boyfriend, let's go for dinner.
Yeah.
And he said, Beta, dampuk chalte, dampuk.
Yeah, oh God.
And then you said, but Daddy is vegetarian. And he said, Koi baat nahi beta, wo driver ke sath khana khayega.
Yeah, you know,
Am I right?
say.
I just can't even.
You know them, na? You know how they are.
I know
And
them.
about their food
I don't.
and about their
I don't know them.
passionate about it.
Did you go to Dampuk that night? And did your vegetarian boyfriend
Kareena
just sit
Kapoor's
there?
father.
Yeah, and watch and stare.
At all these people
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
meat.
You know how, yeah. Oof.
Oh my God. But your
Randir
sister,
Kapoor.
despite all of this, can eat anything.
But I think her genes have gone on mum. Like, I think I am like the true blue
You
Punjabi.
have to keep watching what you eat.
Yeah, I have to watch what I eat. Otherwise,
Twinkle's
So
51.
when Bebo has to get ready to
So 49
dance
here.
in those little
Yeah.
dresses. What does Bebo eat?
then I follow. I have my dietitian Rujuta. I follow her plan very strictly.
And when you're shooting
What?
for Lal Singh Chadda, where you
A superstar has
Then
a
I'm on
dietitian?
TV eating this. Huh?
Whoa.
One bite.
Then I'm on this.
Oh my God.
Eating the strawberry
this?
chocolate cake that you all have
Nice.
got me.
But then dessert is one of those happy things in life, right?
You eat dessert?
I eat dessert. I eat dessert when I'm happy. I eat dessert when I'm sad.
Right on,
I eat
Twinkle.
Dessert
And,
when I feel deserted. If I have to make any more
Akshay
bad
eats
puns.
besan ka laddus.
You know what he actually eats? He eats these laddus which they make for pregnant women.
Hmm.
He eats those for
Those
some-
goans ka
Yeah,
ones.
I never ate them when I was pregnant both times, but that's what he eats.
But they're quite tasty.
He also cooks, which is
Does
very
he?
good.
I love that
He
they're
makes
eating
things
cake right
like
now.
Chocolate paratha. He used to work.
I love
first
that.
He was a waiter
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was
yeah.
a cook. You know how you have those matrimonial ads where you say you want a Sundar Sushil Bahu? I think you should have Sundar Sushil husband.
And they're doing that.
Yeah, who can cook.
Absolutely.
And I don't think women should confess that they can cook. I can cook a little, but I keep saying I can't cook at
Yeah,
all.
because so that the husbands can cook, no?
Yeah, because otherwise I'll be stuck for the rest of my life.
I hope
thinking,
I'm not just supposed to take one bite, no?
You can eat as much.
Acha, I
Lal
can.
Singh Chadda Zindabad.
My wife's grandfather used to say, he's like, don't ever let a guy know that you can cook well because he'll marry you on the spot. So I did.
Good, no? You were pregnant. In the pregnant bits you could.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
it
I
basically.
cannot.
Method acting is binge eating and just finding roles where you are meant to eat a lot.
Yeah, but now I'm working with a method actor, so now I have
Thoda
to.
to chalega, na? But did you eat a lot when you had an excuse, like when you were pregnant?
I put on 25 kgs.
Really?
Yeah. I think that year after the,
What's
the
that?
baby is actually crucial.
Like
you know, for your
13
mind
pounds?
and
It's
your,
normal.
your mental status.
That's
rather
not a
than
big gait
your
weight.
physical
Gait weight?
performance.
Gait weight.
Of course, your
That's not a big
physical
weight
you're going
gain when you're
through, like,
pregnant.
So much. But I think it takes a toll on
Pretty
your
standard.
mind also. So that's where I think you have to be strong.
Like, do you have a nanny?
Yeah,
or
of
do you
course.
manage
I
him?
have to. I would not have managed working without
Nobody
help that I
at her
have.
level
And
could. You
I'm
have
not
to have a nanny.
I'm not a robot or a
Especially
supermom,
both
and I
parents
guess
are-
we're
Yeah,
proud
both
for
parents,
being a mother,
impossible.
and that's what's
You have to have a
everything.
caregiver.
Stop it. It doesn't exist. Every mother's journey is different. You want to work, you need help, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely, nothing
And
wrong
it's
with
like
it.
if people want to say whatever they are, you can't. It's not possible. Your husband's working as well. But of course, when I travel outdoors, if I'm not taking him, then either one of us have to be there. So then Saif has to be in Bombay, even if he's shooting in Bombay, but he has to be in Bombay. And he makes it a point, like how Akshay starts early, he'll go early and he comes back home at about 4:35.
Yeah, there's no other way of working. I mean,
exactly.
Everyone has to pitch in. It's their child. They have
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
supportive, right?
But you know,
It
I think
takes a
most
village.
people are,
Am I right?
They don't, you know,
Wish I
sometimes
had
they're
one.
just like, no, you know, my job requires this and I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I think in that sense, Saif has been like, no, I think you should and you must.
Every time I left Arab with Akshay and I traveled, everybody said that he looked very neat and he looked very clean. So what am I doing? Am I not wiping his face? properly? Yeah, exactly.
So like me, so he's a lot more, I guess, I don't know, we have this thing that everything has to be like clean and nice and neat and we're practical and
I'm
constantly cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I think a little dirt is really good for the immune system.
Rock and roll, Twinkle. I love this
What
woman.
has been the worst time in your life, and
Gonna
how
tell
did
your
you then
wife.
overcome that?
She
There's
won't.
been
That won't
always
bother her.
scrutiny.
Wow.
I think, in fact, my life,
Basically
my
banging
career
Twinkle.
has been practically
She'd
the
let me.
most talked about, most scrutinized, whether it was my breakup.
I don't think
whether it was
Twinkle
my
would.
marriage to Saif, whether
Neither
it
would
was
Akshay.
my career that wasn't great,
Akshay'd kick
or
my
why
ass.
I wasn't working with Yash Raj or like a Dharma at that
Give you a
particular
Canadian
time
chop.
when, you know, Rani and Preeti
He'd
were
drown
doing
me.
all those films. Maybe it was my mistake. I had said no to so many films. People were still discussing that. Why I said no to a Bansali, it went on for like, 1 year people were discussing that. So I feel my life has always been a constant, at a point where it was up for discussion, anybody was discussing it. And why, I have no idea. And
'Cause you're Bebo.
that, I think, used to anger me. It still kind of angers me when I have people talk about that, what is Taimur going to do? Is he
Of
going to be an
course.
actor? Is he going to go to this school? Is he going to do that? He's privileged. I think that
He's a kid and let him be.
Yeah.
And he has to figure it out.
So I think running away from that could have been something that I could have been like, just run away from it. Or, be brash about it. But I think the fact is that I've, like you said, whenever you've seen me, I've always been calm, I've always been composed about it, is because I've also dealt with it in my own way. And of course I get angry and I get upset if, like people talk about my life, they don't know why I married Saif, what is this, why I've, there's so many things.
Yeah.
And I think in this industry you have to be used to it.
Oh, she looks great.
Yeah, but that also has
Whole
to come
outfit.
over time.
Yeah.
And I think that
Work.
has come over time, because I think earlier I was like, immature, and I would make statements and I would be like, open and brash and be like, if I was angry with someone, I would say it.
And now you don't.
I think now it just happens, like you said, you just grow this steel body on you and you just have
And
to go
as Mel Robbins
to
says, let them
sustain this time.
eat cake.
The only thing we know is that we come and we go, and I've never held on to my success or, my failures. They're all transient, so I'm fine with it. I want to hold my family, my husband. That's, these are things that I hold in the highest regard in my life. This is my family, and that's it, and which I will protect. Of course, my career is there, but it might end one day. I hope not. I'm going to try my best.
No, yours is not going to end.
Yeah.
You're going to be
But
75 and still giving your shot.
Damn
and
straight.
my light on your face.
Well, if I'm 75, I know one thing, that I'll be working with Akshay Kumar for sure, because he'll still be working.
Yes, he will.
He's already planning some 2-hero film with Taimur. He's already told me
Canadian
that.
Kumar is
So
never
can
going to
imagine.
stop, all
What is
right?
one piece of advice that your mom had given you, which you've held on to all these years, and you thought that was sacrosanct?
Great word.
I think my
She's used a
mother
couple.
taught me
Just
that
more
never
than a
take
couple of words.
anything in your life too seriously, because she has seen, I think, from everything, from money to success, to it being there, to it not being there, to coming from being married to a film family, to not being in the family, and then, a lot, her journey's also been
This
quite,
music in the background, this might as well be a Charlie Brown episode.
She's seen it all, and obviously everyone has so many sunrises, sunsets in this industry.
Yeah.
But I think the fact is that never take it seriously, never take success, money, nothing. She was like, nothing should be taken seriously other than, yes, hard work is what you can do, and that's the only thing that will be paid off. And of course, she's a Sindhi that you must always protect
Your money. Save it.
Save it.
So you have lots of savings.
That advice Akshay Kumar also always gave.
Yeah, but even I believe, because
Yeah.
everything can change and you can really cope up with a lot of things, but being
That's why he's
bad
doing so
health
much
and not having any
films.
money,
Just wants to save it all.
On Love and Fresh Air only.
No, you can't, and definitely there is no fresh air right now. And
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can't really get love.
These
because you get
South
people-
movies aren't going to remake themselves, am I right,
Yeah.
Akshay?
Oh God.
So I think that falls apart.
Yeah.
Can you look into the camera, and if you had to give the 18-year-old Bebo some advice, just as she was becoming an adult, what would you say?
I think I would just, tell her to calm down. I think I was eager because I had seen so much with Lolo that, I had seen her flops, her hits, her success, her being, like such a big star, that I was also like in that rush, that greed to, that just proved to the world that I'm the best. I think that I had that in me, and I think I'm not that I could have done it differently, but I think I wish I could have just told her that, just work hard and calm down, and it's all coming your way. But, at that time you don't want to hear anything. You just want to say things, do things, be that, and I shouldn't have been maybe like that.
So what's next for Kareena Kapoor Khan? From Bebo to Begum to you've reached, now what?
I'm in a space where I'm very composed, I'm content. So I think I can tackle anything. I have this steel exterior, I think 20 years has kind of got that, upon me. So I'm ready for that, and I think I'm a happier person now.
You look happy, but you
Yeah.
look happy right from the beginning. I've not really seen you look down. You've always been lively. And
Yeah.
You've also got this fabulous support group of family and your friends.
Yeah, my friends.
Ammu, Malaika.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Thank you for coming. Not that you had much of a choice, because our families have been so entwined into each other. I remember back in the day, everyone used to say that Raj Kapoor was my mother's father. For the record, he isn't. Then Chintu uncle once decided to tweet on my birthday saying, "Happy birthday, darling. I was serenading your mother when you were in her stomach, then everybody said Rishi Kapoor was my father. For the record, he isn't. Then on screen, you have played Akshay's wife 4 times, 5 times. I've lost
6,
count.
7 films. Lolo's done 13 films with Akshay.
Yes. So I can't break this generational
And
cycle.
now your mother's played
my mother is now your mother.
Yes.
So really,
Who's Lolo?
Well, it is a close family relationship that we, I think, have had. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sister?
I can't break the cycle, but I do have a cycle, and you can't backpedal from this because apparently, though Tim can cycle, you can't. That's
Well,
really a shame.
Yeah, it is because I don't know. I've just got this fear of just like I don't know, dropping off. That balance I still haven't got, which is really embarrassing. I know, but yeah.
Unfortunately, if you want to leave this show, you have to cycle
Cycle
your way
my way
out.
out. So you got me captive in
Yes,
this. Okay?
exactly.
Okay, this
So
is where
come on.
I need Akshay Kumar. Yaar, kahan ho
I
tum?
will help you, but you don't need Akshay Kumar to cycle. Come on, let's go.
Yes.
This cycling bit is my revenge for you persuading me
It'll
to
have
do
training
a
wheels.
person's house when I had to change the mirror 3 times because
So that's why I need to cycle. Oh my
Yeah,
God!
just,
I can't
this is
believe
revenge.
This is
What a
happening.
gorgeous
we
outfit she
put your
has on.
training wheels. It's not so bad.
What do you mean? So you're going to be backseat?
No, hop on. I'm not
You
going
don't
to take
trust
a chance.
me, is
Of
it?
course not.
She's legit making her ride a
Listen, I'm
bicycle.
not that bad, huh, guys.
Let's try.
Do I get another hamper for doing this?
I promise you one more hamper with a toaster that has your face on
I
it.
hope they have a cat. Did you see that wall piece right there, the around the column?
Okay.
Look at that.
Very good, baby.
Cat
Yes,
heaven.
Hello, very good.
You said I'm cycling my way out. I'm going. The Paps will be there. I'm pulling a Salman.
I thought you were on a ride.
Okay.
It's training wheels.
She knows how to ride. Oh,
Training wheels on
it
it.
has training wheels. Nice.
Well
It
done.
did have training wheels.
Thank you
Good job.
for having me on the show.
Shall we? Which way is she going? Do I have to?
Oh, she said go.
Always fun.
Everything about that was great except the background music.
Thank you for coming to the Twinkle and Bebo's jazz concert.
Yeah.
It's wild to put that loud of a background
Yeah.
music
Seriously.
behind. Who is Lolo? Is Karishma Kapoor her sister? Oh, God damn it.
We're 6. We are 6.
I know people have probably told us that.
I'm sure they have. We just forgot.
So she must be Lolo.
Yeah. Put that in there. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Karishma's Lolo. Makes sense now.
So Lolo is Karishma Kapoor.
Who is
Who is
Kareena
Kareena
Kapoor's
Kapoor's
sister. Who's connected to Rishi Kapoor, who's connected to Raj Kapoor, who's connected to Ranbir Kapoor.
Who Rishi is Twinkle's father.
Not.
I'm telling you, I always had this idea early on in the channel. I wanted to get like an empty family tree of the Kapoors.
Oh, my
and
stars.
And just try to place them.
Yeah, no, I'm never going to happen.
just you have all the names
I
and
think-
you try to place them.
I think there's members of the Kapoor family who couldn't do that accurately.
God damn it. How did I not know Karishma was her sister?
I'm going to ask Indrani. I'm sure she knows that, but I'll feel better if she doesn't.
That-
I'm sure
her
she knows
sister?
that. I'm sure she knows.
I have no doubt that she
I'm
knows
sure
that.
she knows.
There's no way she doesn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we might be the only 2 white people that know.
That's true.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh,
Well, Jabby.
Mark Bennett. No, he's not white. Mark Bennett.
Oh, that's true. Duh. Duh. Thank you. Mark Bennington would possibly know that.
He might know.
He might
I'd
know that.
assume he would.
But that's the thing I'd like to know. I'd like to talk to Mark. Mark's eventually going to be
Yeah.
a host on the show.
Yeah.
But
I'd love to do it if he's ever in LA.
yeah. In fact, I need to reach out to him. We had Happy New Year greetings and Christmas greetings, and so ask him. But I wonder how many films he's seen. We may have seen more films from India than Mark. He's been in more films from India than us.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Karishma. That's a gorgeous set of sisters.
Yeah, the genetics in the family are fine.
And that must be the father.
No, that's just some random guy they met on the street.
Okay, I see it in their eyes now. They have very similar eyes. They're very different looking people.
They are.
We always said how
Facial structure is very different.
unique Charisma was.
Yeah.
Katrina is really, really gorgeous. I loved her look in this.
Yeah, there's the
Is she still acting?
the geometry
Charisma?
on the face is markedly different, but you definitely see in all those shots. You definitely
And
see
Charisma's
their
older?
sisters. You see their sisters. It's Ashley and Alexis. Yeah, it's like looks like it's got about a 6-year difference. Mm-hmm.
Kareena looks older.
I don't know about that. She did in her last couple films, but that's because she was supposed to look a little bit older. I would have placed them at maybe 2 years apart, and I don't know that I would have been able to tell who's the older and who's the younger.
Where is she now? Okay, I don't know if this is a... I don't know. Is she still acting, Charisma?
I don't know.
We've probably seen something like this year with her in it. Sorry, I know there was a lot said, but I just figured out that Charisma is her sister, so it's kind of a big day for me. Brown. Let's see. 2025. She was in.
Yeah, she didn't do much. She hasn't done much in the last 10 years.
Did she retire?
Maybe so.
Murder Mukaballas.
Because there's a big lag. I mean, a lot of people didn't do much in COVID years, but from 17 to 22, there's nothing.
What is Zamant? What's Zamant? Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah, I was going to say Big B.
Arvind Swamy.
Anupam
Karishma
Kher.
Kapoor. Anupam Kher.
Fatima. Prakash Raj.
Wow.
What is
This
that?
movie?
Yeah.
It's coming out this year. Potential lawyer Shiv Shakar. Division Excellent. It looks like it's. Is it a sequel?
And is that a dual role for Big B?
Okay, because the poster they have on IMDb is Big B younger. That's not Big B now.
No.
So is this like a sequel to?
Well, they could have. That's really easy. They could have wigged him and dyed his hair or whatever and make him appear younger than he is.
Zamant. Picture. 1977. That makes sense. Wild.
Anyway.
I love Bebo.
Yep.
They call her Bebo.
I love Twinkle, man.
Me too, man.
She's always so down to earth.
She's very
and very articulate.
very witty.
Yep.
Very, very quick. I like her rawness.
Yep, me too. Made me think, is there a Real Housewives of Mumbai? Because if not, Andy Cohen needs to get on that right now.
Probably is. I can guarantee
I'm
that
gonna take
there
a
is.
look. Real Housewives of Mumbai. Nope, that's Real Housewives of Miami. No, come on, Andy Cohen. Seriously, real. Not like you don't have enough to do. Housewives of Mumbai. Okay. It's essentially referred to as The Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives, which I've seen on Netflix. I didn't know. But is that an Andy Cohen thing?
No, I've heard about that, though.
Yeah, I've heard about that as well. But it's not, it doesn't, have any of you watched that? Because I'm sure, I don't believe, let me see, The Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives. See who's the production
like the
people
Fabulous
behind
Lives
it.
of Bollywood bootlickers.
That's what I'm saying. Number of seasons, it's a multi-camera ride. It's dramatic entertainment. So no, it's
Anyways, I love.
yeah, it's similar in format, but there's all the Real Housewives.
Outside of the background, it was a
Fantastic.
nice little interview. Enjoyed
Yeah.
that. Let us know what should be our next poo movie we should watch, and let us know if you knew that Karishma and Kareena were sisters. I bet you didn't.
And anything else that Twinkle's involved with. She does this format really well. I'm sure there's a ton of other interviews.
She
we've
should come on
missed.
our channel.
Yep, with Akshay
We'll do
by the pool.
We'll do a podcast. We'll ask you all the spicy questions.
I see it. I absolutely we have to do an interview with Akshay in a pool.
do cheese, do musty.
We've just got to be on
That
little,
cheese is
little
musty.
floaties in the water with Akshay. That's my dream.
Let us know down below.
Juice!